And we are live. What is up, everybody? Missing Christo now. I guess we're just playing musical chairs. He doesn't want to be on with me now, but we've got Ian filling in for the moment. Christo says he'll show up. We'll see what happens. We got Dave as always. What's up, guys? How we feeling?
Pretty good. How about you?
Yeah, good. I mean, enter win can't be a bad day, right?
True,
For
true.
sure, man. Feeling great, feeling great. I mean, I watched a lot of football today. I took a little break of studying. Of course, we didn't expect anything from Milan, Salernitana. They took care of business. Um, we overperformed, in my opinion. Well, we overperformed my expectations against Roma. I'm sure we'll get more into that. And I expected Napoli to drop points as well, which they did. So it's been a good day overall, man. I'm feeling good, feeling good.
Yeah, for
What's up,
sure. I've
Mikey?
been
Welcome back.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, I was hiding in the oh, what did Ian call out? Or no, Dave, did you say it? I was hiding in the
In the
comment
comment section.
section. Yeah, yeah, one of
Yeah,
y'all
hey,
said
you,
that.
you
Yeah, I
yeah, you
was.
you
I
were stuck in the
was.
comment section trying to
Yeah, I was in the
participate,
comment
sending us.
section, but I was right here. I was right. My little grayed out icon was down there. I was here. I was a witness. But yeah, it's good to be back on, be able to share some actual coherent thoughts. Really excited. I was watched I missed the first half. I watched the second half. I mean, it was already dead by then. We mentioned before getting on that it was a snooze fest pretty much by then. But as Napoli and Atalanta were playing, I rewatched the first half. Well, I guess watched for the first time. But I mean, it got me really excited to come on here and talk because wow, I mean, what a performance! What a 35 minutes to blitz, and kill off a game like that. I called the last two matches at Inter one pretty professional, but like to face, I mean, they're not playing great, but they're a bigger side than I mean Spezia and Venezia. So to get this kind of win, to kill it off when you know you have a Champions League match that you probably really want to win if you want to stay in that competition for more than two more matches. Um,
Mhm.
it's a really big deal. Of course, Korea goes off. Hopefully, that's not too serious. But yeah, we'll start with you, Dave. How do you feel about this match, this performance? Your guy Dumfries that you've been backing. We've been backing
Oh,
him the whole
oh
season.
man,
Gets his goal.
oh man. First off, I got this girl here. She wants to say hi. That's my girlfriend's Pomeranian. She's so clingy. But
She
hey,
dressed up,
listen.
got the bow and everything.
Yeah, man. She's a bougie dog, bougie dog. But listen, this game, I don't know where to start, bro. Like you touched it for Dumfries. Honestly, when I saw that goal go in, not only of course it was a relief for us that told me definitely that this match was in the bag, but seeing it come from Dumfries, a guy that of course it's been well documented his ups and downs. He made a mistake on the biggest stage that he could possibly make a mistake as an Inter fan, So seeing him finally come full circle. He was playing well. He played well last match where he got the start, and today he actually had something to show for it, where he actually got the goal that was able to seal the match. I was happy for the man, and like you see how much it meant to him. He ran through it. He found the curve of Noor. He was celebrated in front of them. That was beautiful. That's for Dumfries. But in general, man, hats off to Inzaghi. Um, I'm not sure how far back that goes, but I've been starting little by little this little agenda of us possibly even being better than last year. This is getting to a point where I'm getting to a point where I'm ready to say it loud and proud. Of course, under Conte, we know exactly the solidity that we had. We know exactly what we're gonna get every match. But this team, man, we're looking so good going forward, and yet again so solid on defense. Is not even making any sense. We're creating at will. It seems. Hakan, that guy, I don't have any enough praises for him. I don't know what else to say about him. Bastoni showed us exactly what we knew about him with that ball to Dumfries. Who else? Hakan again, like that direct corner. Are you kidding me? And just to make sure that he shows us that he meant it the first time, he tried it the second time again. That's how crazy it is, man. Like I know I'm rambling on and on. You guys have some points you want to get in as well, but I'm happy. I'm happy we were able to take care of that in the first half. and come into the second half and be professional and kill off the match, pretty much passing the ball slowly, killing off the tempo, having them chase the ball pretty much. That we treated them like we treated Venezia and Spezia in the previous matches. And of course, Mourinho has some blame to carry for that as well, because the way he set up and looking at the players that he had available, he set up with 5 center backs or 4 or something like that. That's ridiculous. And they never even crossed the halfway line. They never even made an effort. So he got what he deserved.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Mourinho was missing a lot of players, but I agree that the setup he didn't set his team up for success, even with everyone he was missing. I know he had Mayoral on the bench, could have brought him in. He had some decent guys on the bench, guys that were producing last year, but I guess he just doesn't see what Fonseca saw in him. But Ian, I know Dave just took up a lot of the match, but what were your thoughts?
No, I think the game went as planned perfectly. Like, as Dave said, Hakan doing it twice just to prove that it wasn't like a cheeky attempt at first, but that he meant it. And then even had the audacity to try it the third time, which I thought was hilarious, where Patricio was absolutely livid at his defenders. Then I love it. I love Hakan every day more with each and every match. I do love the fact that, I don't know if you guys noticed, but do you know that Ronaldo meme when Barca players are just tiki-taking the ball around him and he just gets pissed off? He starts throwing a tantrum. I love that we're doing that to our opponents as well. Like, they're trying to press us hard, super high up, and then you just have Brozovic, the Skriniar, back to Brozovic, to Barella, and they're just tiki-taking the ball around, just making them run. Players not even
Zaniolo
moving.
got a yellow card because of that.
Yeah,
Exactly. Yeah. I just love that.
Yeah, it's fun to watch. I mean, even with the game dead, you're just like, all right, how many passes can these guys string together at this point? Like, and it's a comfortable feeling. Like, we're not giving up possession. I mean, in previous matches, we have more shut up shop and like tried to defend, give the other team the ball and let them try to do something. But I felt like in this match, it was just like, all right, we're just going to hold on to the ball for 45 minutes. Like, it's not going to be a big deal.
True.
Yeah,
it
was a lot calmer because, like, even though we've seen that this defense now has figured it out, I mean, if you give chances to anybody, they're more likely to score with the ball than without. I mean, it's a philosophical difference for many coaches, but I like that Inzaghi tried to do a bit of both. I think that's something that we may need going down the stretch. But I mean, I want to go back to Hakan.
Also,
okay, go ahead, and then I'll go back.
No, real quick, I just wanted to pick it back off that. I think that's Pep Guardiola. That's something that he says a lot, which is the more you have the ball, is the less you have to defend. You know, so that helps with the defense as well. So if we could keep it and pass it around, and they're not pressing effectively enough, which is why it goes back to Mourinho again. You saw the frustration on Eldor and Zaniolo's faces, because pretty much they were the only two that had some kind of freedom to go defend, and probably Mkhitaryan to a certain extent. When they would try to press initially, you would just make a couple passes and would just beat that press, because it's not a coordinated team press. It's just them two trying to press the whole team, you know. So it's ridiculous, and Mourinho's got to pay for that, man. Or at least, well, I don't know if you could just evolve on the fly like that, but hey, man, he's still employing tactics from 2010 when he won with us. You know, he hasn't evolved much, and I'm sorry for it.
Yeah, when I saw all the center backs, that's what I thought of. I was like, he's trying to play us like the way he was playing Barca back in the day.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
It doesn't work anymore. And, you know, I mean, I think Mourinho can still be a good coach, but he's going to have to figure some stuff out. Maybe he needs to take a sabbatical like Guardiola did back in the day. Like, I don't know. He's got to do something. Maybe a national team job. I don't know. But talking about all the passes, I know I mentioned this before we started, like Brozovic, 130 passes attempted, 125 completed. Like those aren't even FIFA numbers. You can't do that in a game of FIFA. There's not enough time. That
Absolutely.
is ridiculous. I mean, and then to circle back to Çalhanoğlu, I know like we were pretty defensive and supportive of him on this pod for, you know, the beginning of the season when he was a little shaky. And now, like, goodness, what is this guy? Did he get possessed by Eriksen? Like, what are we seeing? Like, even Eriksen, I mean, he had an Olympico goal. I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy watching this guy.
it's the same arc, like you said. Like I'm sure there, if we go back and look, we could find a couple episodes where we probably were forcing it a little bit, defending him, saying, "Hey, listen, I know he missed a couple passes, but he made that one tackle or he recovered that one ball." But now we could literally kick back and cross our legs. Like, listen, this guy doesn't need any more defending. His game is defending himself. You know, this guy is. I can't even picture us without him at this point. And to piggyback off what Ian said as well, like he has a certain attitude, a certain nastiness to him, like where he's just like saying, "I don't give a damn." He's celebrating in front of the curva like that, and he pretty much like goalkeepers hate that when you try to score that Olympico goal on him, and the fact that he went the third time, that's pretty much like just taking the piss. You know, I love this guy, man. I'm all in, and I love how he immersed himself into the interculture. I guess being a reject of Milan is part of it as well. He's like, I want to show them, but this guy is pretty much, you could tell, you would believe that he's been playing with us for years by the way he loves the team and loves the fans.
Yeah, he's definitely got a massive chip on his shoulder from that departure from Milan, and like just the attitude that everyone at that club had towards him. And then, I mean, coming to a manager who, I don't know what Inzaghi does with midfielders, but he ratchets them all up a level. I mean, I guess you could even I won't put Gagliardini in that yet. I mean, he just scored. He scored against a team from Liguria. I mean, that's what he does. But I mean, that was a nice goal that he even scored midweek. We didn't talk after that. But I mean, wow, like everybody is clicking right now, and it's so fun to watch. And like, I mean, I had some doubts going into this match, and I mean, I was surprised. Like Nick Knox here in our comments, team shocked me today. We're a different team now. I agree. Like, look at this team and look at the team like that. Let's say played against Atalanta. Those are two different teams. And like, I think if we were to play like that Atalanta match over, the Juve match over, like if those matches were coming right now, I think we would win those. Like that adjustment period. I mean, it was a little rough. I mean, but we all had to expect it. But I mean, this is a totally changed team. This team is now Inzaghi's team, and I mean, I was doubting about going into Champions League and trying to win the group, like you were saying. I mean, I wasn't on for you saying that, but wow. I mean, I think there's a good chance, and I know Benzema went off hurt for
Real. Let's touch on that a little bit. First off, well, before we even touch on that, I wanted to say like I personally I like being able to show off my knowledge more or less. Trying to see what's going on tactically, but I can't even figure out what's going on the pitch for our team, because last year when we had the issue, you guys remember early on, it was because Conte was fucking off playing 3-4-2-1 or something like that, 3-4-1-2, and playing a high line, and then it wasn't really rocket science what he did to fix it. We just pretty much reverted back to a 3-5-2 and then started playing the low line again. But now with Inzaghi, I can't even tell what he did to fix the defense, for fuck's sake, because we're still playing the high line, or starting position is still higher than it was last year, still as high as it was in the beginning of the year when we're shipping all the goals. But somehow we still look much more solid defensively. I don't know what he did, if he's doing it with the position of the players, the defenders, or in the midfielders, who's tracking back and when they're tracking back. I would love for somebody to explain it, but this guy, man, like I got to give him credit because he's fixed the defense and we haven't sacrificed anything going forward. If anything, we're still creating just as much as we were in the beginning when we're shipping all the goals.
Yeah, I think we're creating even more. Like I forget what the stat was after Spezia, but it was like a ridiculous number of chances created.
The shots on goals, right?
Yeah, the shots, attempted shots, shots on goal. Like I think it was over 8 matches, but it was in like the triple digits. Like I don't know, it's more things that are beyond even like FIFA realm. Like maybe FM. Like if you're cracked on FM, you can do these types of things. But goodness, I am at a loss sometimes watching this team right now. Like, and then talking about the defense, Fern also touching on that in our comments. I don't know what happened, and we haven't had our first choice back three in weeks. Like it's been Ranocchia stepping in, and then Ranocchia getting hurt, and then Bastoni moving to the center of defense. Skriniar being at the center of the back three sometimes. D'Ambrosio, DeMarco. It's been everybody. It's been all hands on deck.
It's like interchangeable. You just plug and play people, and we don't miss a beat. Today it's not a good game to really tell because Mourinho did not really give us a shot. But Skriniar, he didn't have much to do in the middle. We said the same thing last match because it was Spezia that didn't have much they could offer. And then before that, it was Bastoni against Venezia. But I'm not sure if we're going to risk the Vrij against Real Madrid at this point. But if he does play play Skriniar in the middle, I'm very curious to see how he does versus Real Madrid, which are pretty much like a much bigger opponent, much bigger threat attacking wise.
Yeah. I think you kind of have to bring in De Vrij for Real Madrid if you want to win. If you really want to give yourself the best chance at winning that match, I don't think D'Ambrosio as the right center back can cope well enough with the speed. I mean, he's still a good player.
Ready though? Is De Vrij ready though? That's the thing.
Yeah, I thought he was close. Like, I mean, I could be wrong. I could be reading the wrong sources, but I figured this was like planned, that he was like, all right, this is when I'll come back. Like, this is the most important time to come back. Like, we've seen you can manage without him against these like lighter teams.
Especially with the. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Oh, no, go ahead.
I was about to say, especially with the schedule going forward. Like, I'm just looking at it now. So we have Real Madrid, and then we have Cagliari at home, Salernitana away, Torino home, Bologna away. It's not that big a deal if he misses these type of matches, but if he gets ready for Real Madrid, sure, why not? But I wouldn't risk him.
Yeah, if you can get him in for Real, and then, I mean, you take him back out, you give him a couple more matches of rest. I mean, that is kind of a risk. He could get injured in that match, but still, like, I think personally, I think it's hard to tell. I mean, DeMarco maybe on the left, Bastoni goes to the center, Skriniar on the right. I think that would be better for Champions League. And then you have two dead ball specialists on the pitch with Hakan and DeMarco, which you might need.
Left and right, yep.
Yeah, if you're needing, like, a goal late, you haven't created much. Like, you can also you never know. Maybe he gets an Olympico against Courtois.
But listen, if it was a situation where he was ready and he could have played today, with a couple more days of rest, I don't see why we can't start him against Real Madrid. And I've been so happy to see what the mentality has been going into the match today and during the match today and as well after the match. I'm sure, like, I've been the big proponent of, no, let's not just be so happy that we're already qualified that we want to mail it in against Real Madrid and rest some guys. It seems like Inzaghi is of the same mind because Lautaro, he had a little fatigue or whatever. He could have played today. Even when Correa got injured, he could have chosen to throw in Lautaro, but he still kept him on the bench and threw on Sanchez instead. I'm sure he did that with the Champions League in mind. And Barella, he took off Barella after 60 minutes. Brozovic, I'm not sure if Brozovic finished the match. He took off Hakan as well. Dzeko, he took off. So he's showing you that he wants to go and fight for first place, and that's all I'm asking. I was also watching the Real Madrid match for a little bit before I switched back to the Napoli match. I saw when Benzema got hurt. I think he's gonna miss that match for sure. Jovic, he did a pretty good job today, but he's gonna be much easier for us to deal with than Benzema. Come on, Benzema is a top 3 player in the world right now. So that's a little advantage for us, I think. And with that form and the win at our backs, with the confidence we should have, I like our chances of going out there and getting a good win. Plus, they just played Real Sociedad and they got Atletico after that. So I'm sure they're going to think about resting their players, whereas we have Cagliari where we could play or reserve. So that's an advantage. I like our chances.
Yeah, for sure. And looking at the match today, Brozovic finished the match. Çalhanoğlu came off, which he seems to always do around 60, 65 minutes. Barella went off. Dzeko, who had a really good game. We haven't mentioned him. Got his goal against Roma. I'm sure that felt good. He didn't celebrate, but I'm sure, he was cast off for a year, sitting on the bench basically, and then sent off at a cut rate price and gets his goal. Correa came off with injury, of course, and Bastoni came off. So, I mean, everyone else, if they were still on the pitch, like it's not like they were exerting themselves for 90 minutes. Like they were pretty much coasting. So I think everybody's going to be fresh, which can only be an advantage for us.
For sure.
Exactly, especially the second half. I think we really took the foot off the gas. We really tried to control possession, didn't put pressure too much on the opponents. Just trying to keep the ball, trying to waste as little energy as possible, and I like that. I also like the fact that Inzaghi took some of the key players off, which I don't think we would have seen with Conte. I think
no way.
Especially like at the times that he did. I don't know. I know Barella would have for sure finished the match under Conte. He seemed to be his go-to 80-plus minute guy still. Calhanoglu today went off a bit late than usual, I think. He went off, I think, at around 70, 80-minute mark. Usually he comes off around 60 minutes. Bastoni went off. I like that. Keep him fresh still. No need to waste his energy or risk an injury or yellow cards or anything like that if we don't have to. Get some of the other guys in. So yeah, it's really refreshing to see a coach that actually knows when to make changes instead of just Conte who just like runs them to the ground and says, "Okay, yeah, fuck you, just run."
Yeah, tells him to just run, but it gets results. I mean, we can't argue with that. He got his results. True. I mean, I talked about this on Twitter. I haven't fully gotten everything I want to say about it yet, so I'm going to kind of leave it for another episode. But
yeah, speaking of running to the ground, we got like I don't know where we're gonna give Brozovic a rest, man, because it's cool. Every match we got those amazing stats that we like to retweet about him, but this guy hasn't gotten a break. I don't know when. Well, Salernitana is coming up. I guess they're horrible, man. They're still Serie B level. If we can't rest this guy against Salernitana and just start either Gagliardini, Vitino, Sensi, whoever, and still be able to beat them, I don't know when we're gonna rest them then.
Yeah, hopefully Sensi. I feel like there was a time where Brozovic, I think, got a game off maybe somewhere this season, or has he played every match?
I think he played every match, but just got taken off.
Okay.
Yeah, he used to get subbed off. He got subbed off early in the season. Inzaghi used to sub him off.
Yeah, but still, I mean, yeah, if you're preparing and getting out, starting every match, yeah, even if you get off early, like that still takes a toll after a while. So I think that is something that needs to be addressed upcoming. That's a really good point.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Nah, go ahead.
Yeah, but to me, Brozovic just seems that kind of guy that just doesn't want to go off as well at times, because to me he's the man with the most natural stamina and natural ability not to get fatigued. Yeah, he's the true Balkan embodiment of a guy that just you say, okay, go run. Okay, yeah, sure, running. You know, that's the thing about him. He just seems to always be willing, even if he looks annoyed. To you guys that are not Balkan, you have to understand that's how we always look. That's how we always act. It's not
Speaking of, I think it was Sensi. Late in the match, we created. It was a beautiful build up between DeMarco, Perisic, exchanging balls, and then the last ball came to Sensi, and Sensi skied it. And you saw Brozovic's reaction, like bro, that's the Balkan Brozo in him. I used to get on him about it, but now I'm learning to appreciate it, man. Like. That's just the guy. You gotta love him.
Yeah, it is. And if you hear like a Pichko Mater in the middle, it's just shrug it off. Just don't react. It's just the Balkan way.
I mean, it was pretty frustrating in the beginning, you know, when he was early in his inter career and he still did the same things and wasn't producing. But now, like, you just see it and you're like, yeah, whatever. Like, he'll score a goal and then he'll do his little grenade celebration or something and give a little epic Brozo or something. You never know. But it's great to see. I mean, especially like striker rotation now, which we've seen. I know Dave mentioned that Lautaro didn't even come on in this match. Didn't even need him. When Lukaku left, I know a lot of talk was like, you know, it's gonna be you're gonna have to replace him in numbers. You're not gonna replace him with one guy. And the two replacements were on today, and one of them got a goal, and then I thought Correa did decent. But yeah, I really like what we're seeing. I really like that Lautaro is going to be fully fit for, you know, Real Madrid. Was there anything else from this match? Is there anything I'm missing? Is there anything y'all saw that we haven't touched?
Not really, except for one thing that bothers me usually is, when we have strikers. So we had Dzeko and Correa on. The thing about them, they both like to roam to the side of the pitch. And I saw numerous times today that none of them were in the middle or in the box or just trying to get central defenders to try and cover them. They were all on the left side, where you have already Perisic, where you already have overlapping Bastoni, and you already have one striker. So that's 3 players on the left side or the right side. And to me, that's not good. But it's against Roma. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean they both tend to just drop off a little bit and come find the ball, but when they both doing it, it does leave a hole in the middle. And I did notice exactly what Ian said. But to I see one of the comments here saying that we robbed Chelsea. I mean, I don't know. I'm not gonna go ahead and get on the wagon yet because Twitter was really on Lukaku's back today because I guess they lost to West Ham and he wasn't playing too well when he came on. I would say that we robbed Chelsea if the money was reinvested in a better way. If we went and got Vlahovic, for example, and he's blowing up goals left and right, and he's 21 years old, looking like he's going to be dominating for the next 10 years, then I'd say so. But we replaced him with Dzeko, who's 35 years old, meaning that next summer, again, we're going to be in a market for a big number 9. And also Correa, who's a guy that he's been stop and start. And again, we saw it. He picked up a knock today, and nobody's surprised because that's been him in his last show career, and that's been him in his Inter career so far. Like he'll start and start to pick up form and then just pick up a little stupid knock. You can even tell how he got injured. That's the player he is. But yeah, it does look like good business that we sold a player that is now underperforming and that we look like we don't need right now. But going forward, we would need to replace him well. Probably go for either Vlahovic or Skamaka, something like that. And then we could say that, yeah, we robbed Chelsea, But so far, I can't say that quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, he hasn't done well, but also, I mean, it's been injuries, speaking of Lukaku. I mean, he has not played much. I do think that he's not being utilized in the right way at Chelsea. Like, they're Tuchel, I never pronounce his name right, but the manager out there, I mean, he doesn't play in the same type of way with his strikers that Conte does. Nobody really plays with strikers the same way that Conte does. That kind of just turn and power that he let Lukaku have. I mean, very few places, on the highest level, are you going to get that kind of freedom as a striker. I mean, Zapata at Atalanta, I guess, is the closest thing, and that's kind of why we were linked to him. But I don't think Lukaku will be the best striker with his back to goal, trying to play in the box. That's kind of the way that Chelsea are trying to play with him. I don't think it's going to work. I think he'll still get some goals. He'll still look world class at times, but I don't think he'll find the level of consistency again that he had at Inter. I mean, if he helps Chelsea to win a Champions League or a Premier League this year, I mean, that's what they bought him for, and I guess that would be a success to them because money's not an object. It's like the meme with the dude shoveling money into the furnace. That's Chelsea.
They could literally be in for Haaland next summer, spending 100 mil again, shamelessly, so I guess.
Yeah, it's not really robbery with Chelsea. It's just kind of, I guess, charity. They just kind of throw some money to whoever every year. Whether it's throwing some money over to the Bundesliga to get Havertz and Werner, or if you're throwing 100 over to us for Lukaku. I mean, they're just always spending money. Like, it is what it is, I guess. I've kind of moved past all that. When we're still competing at the top of Serie A, we're still in a chance to win a Champions League group. Like, I mean, there are times that I look at this team and I'm like, wow, like if Hakimi was still wearing that 2 instead of Dumfries, maybe we have a couple more goals from that side. But even Dumfries is maybe starting to put it together. And if he puts it together, then that's really a win, I guess, as much as a win can be selling 2 big players.
Yeah. But I mean, Dumfries could put it together all he wants. He's never going to be half of what Hakimi was or is, you know what I mean? But somebody mentioned today in the midst of all the Lukaku banter that We sold Hakimi for no reason because of him. And that is something that like I echo 100%. You know, like if he felt that way and he wanted to leave, he should have told the directors in the beginning, and that would have been the sale that we spent all summer working on, and we would have been able to keep Hakimi and stuff like that. You know, shoulda, coulda, woulda, but that's another little thing that makes me really despise him even more. You know, putting on that fake face, telling people that you love Milan, you're happy in Milan, you want to stay all summer, only for you to go behind our back and ask the men to be left. I mean, to leave because your mind was no longer with us because you found out that they were really interested in you. You know, so I was first taking the approach of, oh, you know what, we won a Scudetto. He was our best player. Respect to him. I'll forever be grateful. But I mean, little by little, I'm having more venom towards him, if anything.
Yeah, and I mean, he's deleted his Twitter now, like all kinds of stuff just going on. I mean, it's just all off the pitch stuff. Like we've barely seen him on the pitch anymore. So like that's really all you've got is just judging him on his off the pitch actions, and those haven't been very becoming either. But I mean, you still are a professional and you're playing at the top of the game. You like Lukaku gets a ton of slander, and some of it is warranted, but I will still say a lot of it still isn't warranted.
Listen, let me tell you something. That's something. I'm sorry to cut you off, Mikey. All three of us and everybody else in the comments, we could all pat each other on the back. That means that Twitter, we have some kind of power, man. Inter Twitter had a power because when this guy was at Inter, listen, the minute a Man United fan was ready to say anything about him, what would happen? All of us would be jumping on him like shit like that, defending him. Guess what? He doesn't have that for Chelsea. He has Chelsea fans actually bantering him, and that's why he had to go and pretty much shut down his social media account because everybody was against him. But when he was with us, bro, even when he had those little moments where he would have the bad touch here and there and stuff, we still had that shield against him. Nobody could touch him. I don't know. That's back then when Badara was still active. He would drag any little social media account. Like this guy was untouchable, and that's the shield that he no longer has. And at Chelsea, that's a real thing. Believe it or not.
Yeah, if I can put my 2 cents here as well. Sorry to cut you off again, Mikey. I think it's also because at the Inter he knew he had the backing of the players, even if he didn't perform, at least the others will, and the staff. You know, Conte wanted him practically his whole playing career. Lukaku, he wanted him at his club for his whole playing career. He wanted him at Chelsea when he went to United. He got him where he was at Inter, and he knew even if it was a rough patch, at least he somehow contributed to the team. Now, when he's off injured, I think he scored like 3 goals. The last one in the end of September, mid-October, something like that. You know, I think it started to get to his head. Even on the Twitter, on Instagram, everywhere, he just sees slander. I open Twitter every 3 days now, and I think I saw for the past 2 weeks just Lukaku with the Timberland boots photoshopped on. Like, surely he sees that, you know. I think that's also a reason, like, not having the players back him, because he obviously got easily replaced at Chelsea. They're thriving even without him. First in the league, yeah, they lost to West Ham today, but still should be top 2, top 3 finish guaranteed. Plus, he doesn't seem to have the backing of the staff, you know. I think they bought him mostly, I won't say for PR reasons, but they bought him because they want that feel-good redemption story and because they needed a striker, so it went hand to hand. But obviously, we know that Haaland was a preferred option. Everyone else was, I think, a preferred option, but they just want like that feel-good story, you know, like Ronaldo is trying to have now with United. That's feel-good.
No, great
redemption
shot,
arc.
Ian. Yeah, 100%. It was very well documented that they chased Haaland all summer, and then they came and made a panic buy. I guess that kind of goes against what I was saying. Maybe he didn't know early in the summer that they were serious about him, which is why by the time that he asked to leave, we had already sold Hakimi. Maybe that could get me off his back a little bit. But yeah, you're right. I think that it's obvious that he doesn't have their full support. He's not the main guy. He's not the focal point. They bought him and they're expecting him to fit into their system, you know, whereas we had a whole system built around him. You could see him trying to get defenders on his back and asking for the ball, but they don't play like that. And the ball rarely ever comes to him because they're more fluid, one touch here and there. And if I said that I felt bad for him, I do not. For obvious reasons, I do not at all. But yeah, I'm glad it's going that way for him. But I just hope that um we could replace him adequately. Because right now we have a band-aid on, and the band-aid is working so far. But we need to really replace him.
Yeah, I mean, we have what, like a 35, 36-year-old Band-Aid on right now. I mean, it's working now, but
36.
eventually that adhesive is about to start peeling off. Like, there's not much left.
100%.
Yeah, but we had a question about strikers. Here it is, Fern. He says, "Who would you rather have,
Oh
Julian
yeah,
Alvarez or Jonathan David?" I know this is an interesting one.
you first, Ian.
I can't comment on that because I don't follow Jonathan David. I only see on Instagram the Canadian American pages going wild every time he scores. Julian Alvarez, I only heard about him today for the first time when I read an interview with Zanetti saying that he could be like a Lautaro-esque deal when we buy him, and then it's like an investment for the future. So on this one, I'm going to sit this one out. I don't have any real idea. I don't know how these two perform. I don't know if they would fit in our system. For one guy I only heard about today. Personally, I would still go for Vlahovic just because of Serie A experience. I won't say proven goal scorer. Maybe we'll see after this season.
You can say
We'll
it
see.
loud and proud now. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
he's a guarantee. But for me, Mikey, to answer that question, Jonathan David, he's of Haitian descent. He's a son of Haitian immigrants that live in Canada. So I've always kept a close eye on him ever since he started making noise. There was even a chance that he might play for the Haitian national team as a teenager. That never happened. But I say that to say this. I've been following him since he was at Genk. His game, because he's already doing it in Europe, he's more of a guarantee. If we were to buy him now, you could already tell what he could do and where he could improve. That's a guy that I feel like he could be like a Lautaro type, but even better because he has a calmness in front of the goal that Lautaro lacks. He doesn't have that crazy flailing in front of the goal where he finishes any type of way. David is more of a calm finisher, so he could be a good player. But Alvarez, the fact that we've been linked to him so much, I've been doing a lot of research. I've watched everything available and done some reading as well. His talent is immense, man. That's a guy. Even when anybody could look good on a YouTube compilation, but when you're watching a guy on a compilation and he sticks out like a man against boys, and he's this little 5'7" guy, little tiny guy, the ball just jumps off his foot and he just playing with a smile on his face like he's having so much fun. He looks like a crack. So that's one of the players that I definitely go for. I hope that we could end up with both somehow. But if I had to choose between the two, I'd probably say Julian Alvarez because he looks like he has the higher ceiling out of the two. And we know with the Argentinian pedigree, that still supersedes the Canadian pedigree in my opinion. So if it comes down to that, I'd probably do that. I'd probably do Alvarez.
Yeah. I've watched River Plate once. I watched this Super Classico, River Plate, Boca Juniors. And by the time I had tuned in, Alvarez, I think, had scored twice. It was already a dead match. So, I mean, he looks like a good goal scorer. I mean, he's doing it on the biggest stage you can in South America. In that match, particular, and in Copa Libertadores. I mean, other than that, yeah, I think it would be a case where you were waiting a year and a half for him to settle and grow and learn. And if you're doing that, you're still going to need maybe Dzeko keeps scoring for another year and a half. I think that's possible. The only thing I worry about is that would be, well, I mean, I guess either of these guys, something to worry about is they're going to get called up for the national teams most likely. And when they get called up, they're going across the Atlantic. They're coming 5-6 time zones back, and they're playing matches, especially the South American qualifiers, which we know are rough. I mean, you can get clattered in any of those games. And then flying back, and then we've already got Lautaro and Correa who go over there. We've got Vidal and Sanchez who go over there, but I mean they're probably both gone this summer. But Yeah, that's the only thing for me about Alvarez is do we need another guy that's going to be gone every international break when we're trying to get back? I guess Jonathan David's the same issue.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
David is much more of a, you know, he'll settle in quicker. He would start scoring pretty much off the bat, I believe. Like I really do rate that guy. Um,
yeah,
it's hard to pick. I mean, it's like, do you want the quicker solution or do you want the longer term option?
yeah,
It's a flip of a coin for me. I'd say David. I really like Jonathan David a lot. I think he would play well. I think those North American eyes on Serie A, I mean, they're already here, but I think that would intensify it much more. Uh, whether that's good or bad, I mean, that's up for everyone else to decide. But yeah, I'd take David. If we can get Vlahovic, I think he would do well, of course. But I don't know. Something about that guy. I don't think he'd stay very long. I think he would be hunting that next move as well, and that could be a whole nother issue where it's another Lukaku deal where you have him for a year, 2 years, and then he dips out. Last second. You never know with that guy because he says he models his game. Everything he gives me very much vibes of Zlatan. That's who he says that he wants to be,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that guy's a mercenary. So
Hmm. I
we'll
mean, that's
see.
that's a very good point. That's a very good point. But I mean, I'm seeing reports that he's not falling for the Premier League's charm right now because I guess Arsenal are after him and I think Man City as well. It seems like he wants to stay in Italy for at least the foreseeable future. So let's say that Juve do not make it to the Champions League, they're not gonna have that money to go after him. Or worse, who knows what's gonna happen with that investigation because there are more and more serious allegations coming out. So all that stuff that could be in our advantage, and if we could get this guy, man, like that's a guy that I have no questions about, man. Like he's a guarantee, and his mentality, his work ethic to put with that 6'3" frame that works hard, that runs hard, man. Like I would love to pair him up with Lotaro, man, and I had no doubt that would be set for like the next 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. If he would stay, yeah, that's 10 years. I think you're guaranteed. I think he'd have to drop his salary demand. I think he's wanting like closer to like 8, 9 a season,
Uh,
and
uh,
I don't think Inter's going anything over what, like 6.5, 7
six,
right
six and
now.
a half, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. Mm.
Even that's
yeah,
a stretch. But we still need to renew Brozovic, which I think will happen soon, and then we have to start thinking about upgrading other contracts because other teams will try and get our players. You see Skriniar. I love the guy. I really do. I love that he fired his agent to come to stay with us to negotiate a better deal with us. I do, but I think for a player's perspective, even if you do love a club, he gave us like what is this now? His fifth season. He gave us a Serie A. He elevated us to a whole different level. But when a team comes in with the possibility of getting a Champions League, better wages, let's say new work environment, all of those things considered, it does get to a player's head. He might start to consider leaving, and it's not just to Skriniar, this to De Vrij as well. Bastoni, I'm not concerned about him, but like even Lautaro, sooner or later, I think he will either have his fit and force a move, or he will get a big money contract with us. We'll see.
yeah. I mean, the guy, me and Dave were talking about this on Twitter the other day. If you're gonna give someone up from that back three, DeVry's the first one out. He's 30. He's getting older. His game even looked a little shaky at times this season. Conte has looked to come in for him already. So I mean, if Spurs pony up what, like 30 million for this guy, 25 even, I'd take it.
Plus, he came on a free, so that's pure
Yeah,
profit. He'd
yeah,
he'd probably leave for a better contract as well. Plus, we didn't seem to struggle as much without him this season, even when he did look
Yeah,
shaky a bit. Without these last few games, without him, haven't looked as shaky as I thought they would be,
yeah.
which is
And let's
encouraging
not
to
let's
see.
not forget who his agent is. I don't think he's gonna be doing us any favors. That
Sure.
time for renewal is coming, and we don't want any mess with Mino Raiola. So if Conte wants a guy to help teach his system and speed up the process at Tottenham, who's better than the guy that was at the center of his defense in Inter. He's 29 years old. He'll be 30 in February. If we could get 25 to 30 million dollars euros from him, I say we take it. If it's true that Bremer, who's having a season of his life right now at Torino, it will be available for 10 to 15. That's a no brainer to me. It looks like we have a system and the players are shiftable and they're replaceable. I think that if what Morota said is true, that we're not going to be able to spend outright. The only way we're going to be able to improve the squad is by trading players. Then that's the trade that we make. If we could improve the squad by losing out on a 30-year-old and bringing in a 21, 22-year-old, that's a no-brainer to me.
Yeah. I mean, if you can turn De Vrij into Ginter and Bremer, I think that's a good deal. I mean, that's a very Beppe Marotta type, transaction there. I did want to get to this question because I think I know the exact answer for it. MB Games says the only holes in our squad are Kolarov and the fact we're missing a good midfielder off the bench that isn't injury prone. Who would you get in January to fill those gaps? Naitan Nandes. I've seen the links back. They're back again. He's still not happy at Cagliari. Cagliari are going down to Serie B. I think that's pretty much that's a foregone conclusion. That team sucks. Yeah. So if he wants to jump ship a little early, I mean, we can maybe throw somebody their way on a loan. Maybe Satriano or somebody. Throw him, chip him a loan. Maybe. Oh yeah, good luck staying up. We'll take this guy.
Yeah, something like that. Because it looks like this time they're not going to be able to survive, man. Last season around this time we were saying the same thing, and they managed to squeak their way out. But I doubt they could be escape artists 2 seasons in a row. We're being linked again. We remember how messy it got over the summer, where he refused to show up to even train because he thought the move was going to happen, which it didn't. I hope we can make it happen. Like you said, any way we can make it happen. If we have to send some guy we're not using, like Satriano, on loan to them, which is going to benefit us because he's going to get some playing time. Or if we could throw some chump change to them, like 5 million, something like that. That's another body that I feel that is going to be helpful to us in the middle and also on the right. So I'm all for it. And I'll probably bring in Nandes in January, and I think that's the only person. That's the only guy. There were early rumblings of Scamacca, but he's finally playing consistently now. So I doubt Sassuolo would let anybody touch him. So I don't know, man. I think probably Nandes is the only guy I could actually think of us bringing in.
True, yeah, maybe Nandes, but for me it's a bit more complicated question because we don't know the influence Kolarov has in the dressing room. I think he has a big influence there. He seems to be getting along with the Balkan blocks. So, Brozovic likes him. Handanovic seems to be staying inevitably for Inter. Perisic, we still don't know what's going to happen to him. But yeah, I think it's also a big influence in the locker room. That's why some of these guys are staying longer than we fans would have liked. But that's the insight that we don't have that the coaching staff does. Maybe he's like a locker room leader that we don't know about. Who knows? So it's a difficult question. If he drops the wages, sure, let him stay. If he doesn't, sorry, pack your bags, go back to Belgrade, eat some cevapi, fuck off.
Yeah, I mean the thing for me is like he can stay if that's what he does. If he can find a decent enough salary, like whatever. But I mean, in the squad, yeah, when he comes on, like everyone's like, "Oh, brother, this guy." So I mean. I think you do need somebody on the pitch who can do it, but if he wants to stay and chat shit to Handanovic and everyone else, like he can do that. Like that's fine. Yeah. I mean, that's what Ranocchi has done for a few years. It'll be fine.
That's true. I mean, I've read that he is one of the guys in the locker room that does a lot of good things behind the scenes and stuff like that. So I guess he does have his value.
Yeah, for sure. So what else are we on? I think that's pretty much it for right now. Let's see if I can flash a couple of these more of these up here. I know you've got to go in a sec, Dave.
Yeah, let's do quick predictions and we can wrap it up.
All right.
For Real Madrid.
Let's see. All right, I'll throw in one more question, and we'll do predictions. Saeed, I know it's him. S11. Banter era boys, Gagliardini, Vecino, Sensi, leaving in the summer. Who would you have as replacement? Hoping Brazo renews, of course. I don't know. I guess easy answer right now. Nandez. Then I mean, whoever else you can get. I mean, I don't really know who. I guess Agume could come back. I don't know about that. He looked good in a recent match, but I don't know how good he's doing out there in France. The rest of that, I think since he would stay most likely for like one more season, maybe. Gagliardini, I think, may also be stuck staying. Vecino, we know, is gone. He's not renewing. So that's really the only guy out of those three I really see leaving. And then, I mean, you could do something internal like a Gume, or you could, keep Nandez. Yeah, it's something we'll have to see. You
I
guys can
saw a
take that.
report he's talking about. I think it was that they said Vidal is leaving, Vecino is leaving for sure. Sensi and Gagliardini are not sure to stay. So if Vidal and Vecino leave, I would want Nunez, of course, and that other guy that we've been linked to. Juve, I've been linked to him as well for free. Zacharias, that's from Dortmund. I mean, not Dortmund, from Gladbach. He's a big central midfielder as well. He's on the free. That's the kind of deal that we should be looking at. And if it's between us and Juve don't make it to the Champions League again, that's another advantage we could use. So that's a guy that I would like as well. He's a higher quality Vecino. They do the same thing, but he's less of a donkey. So so that would be an upgrade for me.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah. I think just the priority has to be like a ball winner in the midfield, someone to take the load off from Barella for the easier games. Like you said, the Gume for like a Brozovic type backup, just so we don't have to play him every match, even if he wants to play, just sit this one out. So yeah, these two type of players.
Yeah, I mean, Fratese, I know, is a link that we've seen from Sassuolo. I don't know much about him. I've watched him like a couple times recently. Looks pretty decent. I guess that is something to consider in the future. But let's go ahead and get these predictions and get on out of here. We're pushing an hour. Dave, you can go ahead with yours first, just so if you have to drop off, you can.
All right, man. Well, depending on what Madrid come out with, if they come out with their strongest lineup, I don't think there is any doubt that we will do that. We will go ahead and bring out our strongest lineup. I say we could go out there and beat them 2-1, man. I say 2-1 Inter Milan. Strongest lineup from both teams. Now, if they fuck off and they rest some players and we bring out our strongest, we could beat them 2-0. So that's it, 2-0 or 2-1.
Okay, very confident. All right, I like it.
I think people that know me know that I'm not the most confident when it comes to European games, and even games against upper flights. So I'm going to say 1-1, just because I think someone's going to have a brain fart. We're going to concede. We're not going to have a good time scoring like we had in the first game. So yeah, for me, it's going to be 1-1.
I think we're going to win. I'll go with that. I'll say 2-1, 3-1 maybe. I think 3-1 has been a pretty common scoreline for us, 2-1, 3-1 this season. If Benzema really isn't fit, I mean, it's going to be tough for them to score unless they get Vinicius or somebody else going. So I'm pretty confident. I think Real Madrid probably will come out with most of their other starters. I don't think they'll really rest anybody because, I mean, looking at the winners of the groups, projected winners right now, like, it's a murderer's row. Like, all those teams are good. If you're in second, or if you're in first, I mean, the only second place team you really have to worry about is like PSG. And those odds are a lot better than trying to get like the one group winner that isn't totally terrifying. So I think it's going to be a pretty intense battle because I don't think either team wants to go out in the next round. But Inter running on so much confidence, I can't see these guys not creating any chances. I think they're going to go there, and I think we're going to be surprised. I think it's going to be a win.
That's what I like to hear, Mikey.
Hey, they convinced me today. Something about today. I was like, all right.
For sure. 100%.
Well, someone has to be the cynical Balkan if you two are too chirpy about it. So,
Yeah. Risto's not here to say we're going to lose. So.
Yeah, especially he decided not to show up at all. That's crazy.
Yeah, ghosted. Ouch.
Mhm.
But
it is what it is.
yeah. Well, this has been a good one, guys. Coming in under an hour. Wow. But thanks everyone tuning in. I know we have 5 at one point. I think one of those was mine, though. I have a tab up in the corner just to see how.
Mike is fudging the numbers, man.
Yeah. I'm inflating my capital gains as well. Getting Cindy City to agree for it. But thanks, guys, as always, for coming on. Thanks everyone who gave us some comments. Whoever listens, like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can, get the word out. And yeah, thanks everyone, and we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.